I'm Brian Wagner, and I'm going to show you how to maintain and clean and sharpen a pair of secateurs. I've got here a wire brush, a stone for sharpening the blade, a little spanner here to undo these two nuts here, and some grease. So what I'm going to do now is we can just pop this spring out. We're going to undo this little nut here, which is fairly tight. Let's undo this. And I'm going to dismantle this whole pair of secateurs. So I'm going to pop this little nut out here. I'm going to undo this main nut. And you can see these haven't been maintained for a while. They're quite dirty. I'm going to pop this out. And I've got the blade here and I've got this nut. Now what I'm going to do with the wire brush is just clean all of this. There's a fair bit of rust and corrosion on all of this. So we're going to clean all this. And we're going to give it a nice rub on the wire brush. And I've got most of that rust off already. And all the faces I'm going to clean with a wire brush. So you can see that's a lot cleaner now. I'm going to clean this little spot in here. This little, just rub part with the wire brush. And I'm going to clean all parts. Corroded. You might want to wear a glove doing this. Most probably do want to wear a glove doing this. Now that's all good now. Now, most oil stones, which is what they're generally called, I was told by a butcher to use detergent. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of detergent on this. Not much. Now, this is a really important part about cleaning and sharpening blades. Never sharpen this face, this flat face. You've got a little beveled edge here, which you might find a little bit hard to see, but just, and there's a slight angle on that. I can feel that's a little bit burred, but just try and cut that face and just rub this around. What have I got here? Most probably about a 30-degree angle here. And just start from the very back here by putting pressure and roll it through to the front. So, not real hard. And I'm just going through. But by using detergent, I think it's just as good, if not better than oil, and it's so much easier to clean. So I'm just rolling that through. Now, you can see now the edge that I've cleaned up. And just feel that, and that's actually quite sharp. That's all you really have to do. And maybe just do a couple of runs and hold this flat. But what you never want to do is do this inside edge, because the minute you do that, you've got a gap between here and the face of this other blade. So I'm just going to touch that up a little bit more. I can feel a slight burr on that. I might just do one little rub over that, very lightly. That's it. I've just taken off that little burr. That's all you need to do. Now that's nice and sharp. I'm just going to pour a bit of water over this and just clean it. Get rid of some of that detergent. I've got rid of all of that now. I'm going to dry this. Probably a rag would be better. I'm just going to use a little bit of newspaper. That's all nice and dry. Now, what I'm going to do is put a little bit of grease on all these faces. So, I'm going to start off with this one here first. You don't need a lot. And I'm going to drop this blade back on here now. So the blade is on. I'm just going to do this in steps, tying a little bit on that face. I'm going to pop this back on. I'm going to put the bolt back through here. I'm just going to put a little bit on this thread. Not much. Pop that bolt back through. I'm going to put a little bit on this face, tiny, small, just a very small amount of. I'm going to pop this back on. I'm also going to put a little bit on this face. I'm going to screw this nut back in. Now just screw that down hand tight. Now if you grab both of these arms and move them, you'll feel that that's quite tight there. There's very little movement in here. If that's loose, undo it a bit. You'll see there's quite a bit of movement in there, right? You don't want that. So tighten this hand tight and you'll just get that right tension. Now there's no movement there, right? I'm going to pop this spring back in. Pop this back on. Again, I'm going to put a little bit of grease on this doing up. Makes it much easier to undo next time you clean these up. Hand screw this in. Don't do these up real tight. These secateurs are all alloy, so just nip them up, but not real tight. Don't overforce it. Now I'm going to hold this again. Now they're nice and tight. I'm going to put a little bit of grease just on that face. Maybe with an old cloth, you can just tidy up any excess grease. Just remove off that face. Now I'm going to see if these are sharp. And these are beautiful. That's like a new pair of secateurs again now. They may not look new, but they are beautifully sharp and they will work as good as a new pair of secateurs.